Yo, what's going on? Once again, my camera view is far away. We got to fix it again. Jesus, I hate it when that happens. But oh, that was nice. I got it on the first try. How's everybody doing today, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to another DnL&x Fitness live stream show. I just put up my multi-chat, so if you've been chatting, I cannot see anything you said, but how's everybody doing? We are here June 30th, 2026 on a Tuesday. Hopefully you're having a good day at work. Hopefully everything is going well, everything is going great. But if you're having a bad day, we're going to let Mr. Chow break it down to ya.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you didn't get shot, you're still alive. You're still able to get up and get out and get something and make something happen. Just stay great and keep doing the best that you can and just stay focused and doing everything that you got to do to make something happen because, man, things is hard. This thing is tough right now, but you can still get up, stay positive, stay focused, stay motivated, have a plan and execute it and keep pushing. Let's go. Oh, man. I need to turn down my phone, so therefore nothing will be making noise while I'm doing my live stream. And just to let you know, we are multi-streaming on multiple different platforms. We are on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and Facebook. If you're on Facebook, do your boy a favor. When you see the thumbs up that's going to pop up on your screen right there, hit that like button. Is greatly appreciated to get the likes out, get the algorithm up and all that good stuff. And want to contribute to today's show? Cash App and Venmo right there. Cash App is Daniel2888. Venmo Danny-Daniel-00. And that's going to be it for the introduction. Today, we got a good show lined up for you. Today, we are going to talk about these data centers, man, and they are pushing Americans into pushing rural living Americans into the cities. Yes, sir. I had that backwards. Yes, sir. Not looking too good. And it's happening all over the country. We just want to go down and look at a bunch of different things that I came across on TikTok and just take a look and see that everywhere you look and everywhere you go, it's a serious threat that is posing to people and people don't know what to do. You got Islamists invading the country on the liberal left progressive side. You got old Donald Trump working with Israel on the right side. You got the Christian Americans in the middle hoping somebody will fight for them, but nobody's fighting for them. It looks like everything is about to go to hell in a handbasket. You got you got teachers that are female teachers at an alarming rate, just touching and grooming little boys left and right in schools that are unprecedented amount that we've never seen. OnlyFans is going crazy. Prostitution's at an all-time high. Data centers everywhere. And then they're taking water from us on the other end. We're worried about water. The stock market is at an all-time high. Warren Buffett done pulled out $400 billion of cash on the side waiting for the next stock market to crash. I mean, like, what are we doing? And the housing market is just going crazy right now. Jobs are just getting lost. Oracle just laid off like 20, what is it? What did he do? 20,000 workers, 30,000 workers again for the second time. So they've laid off at least 13% of their workers to date and getting ready to build money and get ready to fund more AI data centers. I mean, bruh, it's just like, what do we do at this point? What do you do? Yes, what do you do? There we go. Yeah, man. It's getting crazy out there, you know what I'm saying? People hate capitalism and imperialism, and other people want communism to come in because they think that's going to solve their problems. I mean, it's like the story as old as the Bible. It's like, oh, help us, God, help us, God. No, God. And then God helps you and turns around. We need a king. We need a king. Then the king come in and lay the smack down on them. And then another king, then that king dies and another king comes in and is like, we need help. And then the next thing you know, this other guy comes in and defeats this guy and he lays the smack down on people even harder. It is just like, oh boy. And I know I left out some other problems in there, but that's just a few to name a few. But with that being said, we're going to dive in and look at these data centers that are pushing rural Americans into the cities. And then once you push everybody into the cities, well, I mean, hell, you're screwed. Then you got the Matrix full-fledged right now because you remember, you know what I mean? They trying to get everybody in little bitty confinement spaces called cities. That's what cities are, in case you didn't know. Cities are where they try to push all the farmers and all the people into little confinement spaces because they don't want you to live out here in rural America or just in the rural town USA of any state, because then, you know, You could drill a well, you could build on your own land, you got no HOA fees, you could have your own electricity with, your batteries and stuff like that. You can provide your own electricity and all that. I mean, you could do your own thing out there. Just take time and build it brick by brick, have your own land, grow your own food, have a garden, have some cattle, be cool with the community people out in the country, a butcher down the street, some other growers around the way. They trying to shut all that down and push everybody into these cities. You know what I mean? And just basically make you live the Pharisees lifestyle is what they trying to get you to do. When you get into that Pharisees lifestyle, I mean, they gonna walk up to you with a piece of gold on it. They gonna be like, who faces on this piece of coin? And you better answer correctly. You better be like, render to what is Caesar, so what is God. You better answer it right. Cause if not, boy, oh boy, they gonna let a smack down on you. Yeah. Anyhow, with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive into today's show with the data centers that we have to check out to see what's going on, because it is happening all over the place. And I think the first one we got is going to happen in old Pennsylvania on the East Coast. So let's go ahead and check out, see what's going on over on the East Coast. Whoop, shut up, not yet. Don't start. So let's go ahead and check out, see what's going on over on the East Coast in Pennsylvania and see what's happening with the data centers over there, because it is everywhere. It's every city, every state that is hitting. And it's also worldwide too. Man, I don't know if we're going to hit worldwide, but we are going to talk about the good old US of A. And I think even Canada, they even got Canada in here. I guess we can count Canada over here on the west side of the world. You know what I'm saying? Count Canada up here on the west side. So we're going to see what's happening. Here we go. So let's go ahead and get to the first one and let's take a look at this here. Here we go.
Pushing aggressively into Pennsylvania to build massive AI data centers. There's about 70 proposed data centers across the state, which combined would require more power than the entire state of Pennsylvania already consumes. You really think your electric bill won't go up? The current grid can't even support this power demand. So data centers plan to set up things like massive diesel generators, sometimes within 1,000 feet of an elementary school. Literally this one. Another myth is that data centers create a lot of jobs, when in reality, they're one of the least efficient job creators out there. Finally, you'll be told that data centers bring in tons of tax revenue money, except this year's...
Whoa. They do create a lot of jobs. I'm going to have to argue with you on that one, young man. They do create a lot of jobs. However...
But wait! There's more!
For who do they create a lot of jobs for? That's the question, because these bastards is tricky, you know what I mean? They didn't say they created a lot of jobs for humans. They create a lot more jobs for robots, you silly rabbits. So they are going to create a lot more jobs, but they just never said for who, and it's not their problem if you don't clarify the who. You probably never asked. You just assumed. And we all know what happens when you make an assumption. You get an ass out of you and me. So that's probably what they're saying. They're like, we are going to create a lot of jobs. It's going to be a lot of people. Excuse me. There's going to be a lot of jobs in the warehouse. There's going to be a lot of delivery jobs. There's going to be a lot of transportation jobs and a lot of 18-wheeler jobs and a lot of cashier jobs, or customer service jobs. And you notice they making sure ain't no people or humans involved, so it's gonna create a lot of jobs. Technically they're right, but you gotta play this little trickery. You know what I mean? You gotta make sure that when you hear jobs, I always tell you gotta think like this. If you think evil, it's pretty easy to see, but let's keep going.
Budget proposal by Governor Shapiro includes $2 billion in tax breaks for those data.
Did he say Shapiro? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Did he say Shapiro? I think he said Shapiro.
They get tax breaks even though they're creating significant environmental. This year's budget proposal by Governor Shapiro includes...
Governor Shapiro, where's my sound? Oy vey.
$2 billion in tax breaks for those data centers. They get tax breaks even though they're creating significant environmental costs, property value loss, electric rates going up, insane water usage, and incredible amounts of noise. Some communities have won against data centers, some have lost. I plan to do an entire series on data centers because big tech is coming for Pennsylvania. Check the map and get active locally. Big tech is pushing.
They ain't just coming for big tech, little young man. They ain't coming just for big tech, bro. They coming for everybody. They coming for Hopi Prophecy, bro. I did a live stream. Hopi Prophecy done broke this down. The Hopi Prophecy is an old prophecy, and you'll be surprised when I broke that down and showed you the video and we went over and I reacted it to you. Hopi predicted AI in data centers. Hopi predicted it, bro. Hopi Prophecy was on point. Then I did Michio Kushi, the Japanese guy. He predicted AI as well. I mean, they was way well before their time, and they've been telling us this. And then if you look at how things are going and you go to the Book of Revelations, I mean, it can you kind of get in and you start reading and you're going to be like, oh, shit. It's getting real out here, folks. It's getting real. So, yeah, man, they taking up water. Who needs water? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not like it's important or anything. They're going to go ahead and they're going to pass the buck on. They're going to go ahead and run that bill on to you. Make sure you pay that electricity bill. Screwing up all the jobs. They done used the female hypergamous nature against her. They done gave them a taste of this good life and this good money. And, you know, once they get a taste of good, they have there's like this chemical imbalance in their head where they can't go back. You know what I mean? They're like, I've already had the best. I can't go back to what I was. I got to keep being forward and manifesting and being forward. And then they start, you know, playing with tarot cards and lighting incense and, you know, pouring water on their head and taking strolls out in nature and start chanting hymns in Buddhist temples and stuff like that. And then they start, you know, doing yoni magic and stuff and liberating themselves by being me and finding myself and these things of this nature. And the whole time they doing all this shit, and the whole time they doing all this in the background, all they hear is his voice that they try to ignore that's doing this. So while all this is going on, you know what I mean? You got data centers taking up water. It's like a pre-planned event. They was like, you know what? Remember 100 years ago, we had something called the Roaring 20s. And it was like, if you studied it, you understood. In the 20s, we had the flappers, which were the female prostitutes back then. Then you had like the stock market at an all-time high. Everything was going good, music good, jazz good. The gangsters was out here doing prohibitions and all sorts of stuff. They had cars and all sorts. Everything was going good. The stock, you put money in the stock market, you just kept making money. You couldn't lose. The party could never end. It could never end. Then all of a sudden, 1929 came, and all of a sudden the party came to an abrupt halt. It was like, yeah, it got really real, and all of a sudden everybody was looking around. They were like, "Oh no, what happens?" And then you just hear this voice in the background say,
"Prepare the meat, so don't."
And yeah, 1929 hit, and then good old Great Depression hits, and then everything tanks down. Like the stock market took like a 75% hit, and wasn't nobody ready for that bad boy. Fast forward 100 years later, we got the 06-08 housing market crash. And let me start, you know what? Let's start at the dot-com bubble. The dot-com bubble hits because we was all afraid of Y2K. I know I was scared shitless. I was like 10, 12 at the time, 11, 10, 11, 12. Was Y2K? Yeah, like 11 or 12 at the time. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was scared shitless. Nobody told me, Danny, don't worry. The computers are not going to shut everything off. Y2K is not real. I'm thinking it's serious. So the only thing I remember is hearing, so tonight we're going to party like it's 1999. And they played that song about 609,058 million times that day, I tell you. And Prince made a huge bag that day. They played 1999 like it was going out of style in the year 2000 or going into 2000. Well, Y2K hits, the lights don't go off. I'm home alone. The family, the folks, the parents, and everybody's out having a good old party like they always did at New Year's time. I'm like, well, maybe if I go to sleep, you know what I mean, I'll miss it when the lights cut off. But it never happened. But then, you know, as I get older, I study about the .com bubble, how a lot of people lost their ass because of technology and the tech bubble and all that stuff. A lot of people lost bigly. Well, then, you know, you fast forward a little bit of more time, everything kind of like it rebounds a little bit. Then you go to like the 06, 08, 09 housing market crash. We get to the 08 housing market crash, right? Everything's going good. Everything's going lovely. But then the housing market crash comes. Boom. And what happens was, this is what you probably, if you watch the movie The Big Short, you'll understand this a lot better. But one thing I do know, and I do remember this being said, I remember this being said a lot back in this time because I graduated in 06. Housing market crash happened in 08. And they was like, basically they was saying that when the banks bailed out the people that they bailed out, one of the things they said was, we have just ruined the future for our grandchildren in the future. They made that clear. They knew it when the 08 housing market crash happened. They knew if we do this, we're going to destroy the future of our children. They knew it. And they did it anyway. So the economy kicks back up about a year. Well, it took some years to get over the crash because a lot of people lost their ass and jobs and stuff during that. But whatever the case was, rebound back after so many years. Rebound, start going through the 2010s and everything. Go through the 2010s. I'm living in Austin. Everything's going up and up and up and up and up. From 2010 to 2020, Austin was on a trajectory of this. I would say this, but it did this. And I mean, it went up, boy. 2010 to 2020 was like a prosperity time that you could never, that was, to me in my lifetime, was unprecedented. It was amazing. Everything goes great, as long as you didn't make no mistakes. 2020 hits in March, and out of nowhere, the strong flu 19 kicks off. And if you look at a chart, if you look at a stock chart, you'll see, like, you know, the blip, but then the stock market took off like a few months later and just went on another crazy trajectory. While everybody was at home and couldn't go to work, if you was investing, you was making out like a bandit on that stock market. But now if you look at the stock market from 2000 to the 2010s, then you get to 2020, and then you look at it now, how it's going up. If you look at it, we're in the roaring 20s all over again, like 100 years ago. So now we're relapsing, and we're about to go back into, you know, another, you know, like right now the stock market can't lose. Like you're literally getting on social media and you're hearing people like say, like, every time you say, oh man, SpaceX just dropped the IPO, he's the first trillionaire. Oh, hey, this company here, they just put in money on stock. Hey, this stock market here is gonna go up. And it's like everything that you put money in goes up. Everything. And it's like there's no losing. Nothing can lose. I'm like, shit. I'm like, that pullback, boy, that pullback finna be lethal. It's finna be lethal, boy. And this pullback ain't gonna be no jobs to save your ass. The only thing that saved us from the Great Depression was World War II. World War II was what got us out the Great Depression, which is sad. Took a war to get us out of a depression. That don't even make no sense. But that's what happened. This time around, yeah, it's not gonna go that way, I don't think. You better be prepared for when it comes. So, say all that to say this. All this going on, and these data centers are coming in, and they here to stay. And imagine this. Imagine a Great Depression coupled with a water shortage. Oh, my Lord. You thought Elysium was just a movie, huh? You thought Elysium was just a movie with, was it Mark Wahlberg or Matt Damon? I can't remember. It was one of them two. I be getting them two mixed up. You thought Elysium was just a movie, huh? Yeah, well, funny when you look at Elysium, you notice that all the people that's left on planet Earth with Matt Damon, I believe is who it was, They was all like immigrants and migrants. I was like, oh wow, they trying to tell us to our face. But I digress. Let's go ahead and check out some more data center issues that's going on, that's happening. Let's go ahead and check out some more that we got going on. We have another protest is going on. They got 2 planned AI data centers in Vancouver, brought 100 people to the streets. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on over there in good old Canada, where they got some of the good maple syrup. Okay, eh? Okay, eh? Let's see what we got going on here in Canada.
Hundreds marched from the Vancouver Art Gallery towards City Hall, calling for 2 planned AI data centers to be stopped.
As the size of this rally shows, there are certainly people who care.
One facility is planned for Mount Pleasant that's...
Let me just say this real quick. Hold on. Let me just hit mute real quick. All right, we're going to watch a little bit of this. Look at this. If you were doing an AI data center, would you feel threatened at any of these people walking up to your building telling you to stop? Like, just look. Would you be worried about any of these people in here telling you to stop, protect our water? Would you be worried about these people? Would you even be like, man, you know what I mean? Would you think like somebody got a gun, they finna shoot you? Do you feel the threat of death coming your way, any shape, form, or fashion? Because that's the only way things change. You got to threaten change with, you know, fight, war, death. Something got to, like, somebody's head got to get chopped off, or numerous of heads get chopped off. Unfortunately, the only heads that are being chopped off is the Islamic terrorists that's running around here like crazy. But think about it. They're like, stop building data centers. We want you to stop. Like, bro, that's not going to stop them from building data centers, bro. The only thing they respect is violence. Like, you can put in some paper, you can postpone it, you can slow it down, but like, they're going to be persistent and keep coming. The only thing that's going to stop them is death. So yeah, I'm just looking at these people and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be worried about these folk either. I mean him. Like, yeah, I'm not worried about him, bro. We gonna smack the shit out of him. I mean, you look at this crowd of people. I see majority of women. I'm not worried about these women. Man, I ain't worried about them. They gonna do what I tell them to do. You know what I mean? And really, at the end of the day, I mean, a crowd full of women telling me not to do what I want to do, and I got that much money built in the AI data centers. I'm gonna be like, ladies, please, keep it down out there. You're disturbing the peace. Let's keep going.
data centers to be stopped.
As the size of this rally shows, there are certainly people who care.
One facility is planned for Mount Pleasant that's slated to come online later this year. The other planned for downtown Vancouver near BC Place in 2029. The project, a joint effort between TELUS, the City of Vancouver, and the federal government. Protesters say the public hasn't been given enough information about the environmental impact.
I just don't see a threat. I just don't see a threat. Like when you look at these people, do you feel any sense of threats? You know what I mean? Do you feel like, oh snap, they're about to break down the walls, about to kick in the door, they're finna come get us? Like, do you feel that when you watch this video? Like when you look at this video, do you think like, oh yeah, they finna go in there and break the stuff down and get these people? Like look, man. You're out here giving these people all these damn food snaps and stuff and letting them be all free and liberated. Look, they are not physically fit to do anything. Like this walking is actually benefiting them. It's not even harming them. It's like, well, at least they're out exercising. What is she doing? She got a stick with 2 cowbells on the end of it. Like, what is she doing, bruh? Like, what is she doing? And then look, this dude over here, bird chest, just cave his chest in with one punch. Like they are not worried. There's no fear. You know what I mean? They like put all the you like made all the warriors go broke and put half of them in jail, and now you are here left with nerds to protest. You ain't worried about nothing. Like there's no fear. There's no fear here. There's nothing to be scared of, bro. There's nothing to be scared of. Like y'all got on masks outside. Are we doing this again? The 2 dudes, the three people got on masks outside. Like, are we really going through this again? So that means that y'all listened to us during COVID. Hey, look, you got purple hair. You got all sorts of different color hairs. You probably got bull nose rings. We got all sorts of. We got liberals trying to renege on their decisions that they've made, and it's like, nah, bro, we already going through with this. Ain't nothing you can do, unfortunately. Like, we got y'all right where we want y'all. Like, I ain't finna bust a grape. Y'all finna say, please stop. No, like that's not finna happen, bro. This needs to be met with violence, and if there's no threat of violence, we going through with it.
Centers, especially how much water they could use.
Population growth is already straining our water supplies.
Those concerns come as Metro Vancouver remains under Stage 3 water restrictions.
So much water being wasted, so much power being used.
We can't even water our lawns, and they want to use more water.
A study by the International Energy Agency estimated data centers.
Man, I keep telling y'all, these ain't people, bro. These are reptilian shapeshifters that are out there portraying like they one of us, bro. They some reptilian shapeshifters. There's a whole nother race, bro. They're a different species, bro. That's what they are. And we keep looking at them like they're people. They not people. They're a different race. They're a different species of things that hate humans. And that's why I be trying to tell people. I was like, if we could just see it like that, you wouldn't be walking and marching. You would be trying to kill those things and trying to take back what is yours, because you realize, bro, there's a whole different race trying to kill our race. But, you know, because they shapeshifted and taking human form or using certain humans to, you know, screw over other humans, you know, people don't see it that way. You know what I mean? And plus, like I said, they done got rid of all the strong men and all the warriors and stuff like that. So now you're left out with liberals protesting out in the street, you know, with LGBTQ flags saying, you know, pride needs water. They like, yeah, sure you do. Oh my goodness.
Used 140 billion liters of water globally in 2023. The province has backed AI development in BC, but Premier David Eby says they are paying attention to people's concerns.
Look at him. Look at him, bro. Look. This is a shapeshifter if I ain't never seen one. This is one of those things right here. He's a shapeshifter. He's a reptilian shapeshifter. He's a different race. He's not a human. He ain't one of us. He ain't one of us, y'all. He's a shapeshifter, I tell you. He doesn't care about human life. He doesn't care about how the human race repopulates. He wants to enslave humans, and since you can't see him for what he really is, he can do what he wants. And it's not just him, it's many, many others. But if you could look past and see the evil species that is behind what is so-called a human right here, we would actually see the true evil that is trying to kill us all. But you can't. So therefore, they're going to just keep playing these same old games. They're going to keep saying the same old games. They're going to go ahead and use these data centers and tear up the water and charge you the bill and then put them next to your kids' schools. And we even had a movie back in the day. If you remember this old movie, it's called Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy, where they were complaining about the at the time it was telephone towers, to the telephone wires over like schools and houses and stuff, and like the electricity or radiation or whatever was giving people cancer, making like people and kids go bald. Well, this like shits on that movie by a freaking milestone, because this is way worse than some raggedy ass telephone wires now. You know what I mean? This is a whole different ball game. So yeah, go watch that movie. It's actually pretty interesting, but it'll give you an idea, but you can just like multiply by like 1 million on crack. But let's continue.
Ensuring that these data centers are not mass consumers of water is a key interest.
Last fall, BC passed new rules for large AI and data center projects. Under that framework, massive energy users have to go through a competitive process before getting access to BC hydropower.
I just want to reassure people that we have those regulations in place, and that is key for British Columbia in terms of any centers going forward.
TELUS says its facilities will use 90% less water than a traditional data center, and say they will recycle enough waste energy to heat 150,000 homes. This is the second major protest against the plan.
So instead of using 148 billions of water, they'll use 100 billions of water, maybe 125, you know what I'm saying, billion liters of water. You know what I mean? That's probably what you have to always look at their words. It's like, yeah, we'll use less water, but the question is like, how much less? You know, because 1% is less. So you got to always be like, how much less? So you mean we talking like 97, 98% less? Like, what are we talking? You know what I mean? You got to make sure you verify, because these people is evil. I mean, these species is evil. These species are super evil. They ain't people. They species. They're a different race. I mean, just think about it. How would you as a human could you think about using something that will pollute the very essence of what you need to live? And that goes for, you know what I mean, you and your fellow people around you. So it has to be a different species that we dealing with that's shape-shifting in human form, that we just like, we look at it, we can't tell the difference. Hell, all these fools might be shapeshifters and crisis actors. Hell, for all we know.
And data centers in Vancouver. Organizers say more demonstrations are planned over the coming months. Hundreds marched from the Vancouver.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we cooked. We are cooked, as the little people would say. They're like, yo, we are cooked. We are done for. So we got AI data centers in Pennsylvania. Now we got them in, is that Vancouver, British Columbia? Yes, sir. Or Vancouver, Canada. We got them all over the place. So as we see, they're coming. They're putting them in. They've been putting them in. I did another show previously that showed the years and when they were building them to where we at now and how many they have going on. And we're going to look here and look at the communities in Gilroy and in Pittsburgh. And you're going to see that they're pushing back. They're pushing back against mega data centers and projects. But the question is, you can push back right now. Maybe you can push back temporarily because Trump's in power, and that's the only thing that's like giving you a little bit of leeway, a little bit of pushback. Maybe Trump may be the only reason why you're able to push back a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. But whoever comes in presidency next, they just gonna open the floodgate and be like, yeah, we're doing this, and if you protest, you're gonna get arrested. Who knows? I'm just talking, but it's no telling. But let's see what happens in Gilroy in Pittsburgh. I don't know where Gilroy is, but I'm assuming it's on the East Coast because this is talking about Pittsburgh. So let's see. So communities in Gilroy and in Pittsburgh, they're pushing back. They're trying to, postpone and stop these things. But, you're only slowing down the inevitable that's going to happen. But let's check this out and see what this is going on. So we have Eyewitness News telling us about this. So fair use, and here we go.
Artificial intelligence becomes more prominent. More cities are faced with a data dilemma. The Bay Area is trying to manage data centers. And ABC 7 Eyewitness News reporter J.R. Stone is looking into what is being planned and why many people are angry.
We don't need another data center.
Anger in Pittsburgh Monday night over an already approved data center to be built where the Delta View golf course used.
I'm going to say this, Brad. I've said this millions of times. Talking solves nothing. Talking solves nothing. You ain't talking your way out of this money that they finna make. Talking will not solve a thing. I don't care how angry you are, how inflected your voice is, how many people clap when you say something prominent. Talking solves nothing. You want to know how I know? Because the Epstein files came out, and what happened? Talking. And what did talking do? Talking solved nothing. Never does. Talking will solve nothing. It requires physical action. That's the only thing that's going to stop this. Ain't nothing else going to stop it. Talking does nothing. People are like, oh, but we're exposing it. We're exposing it. We're exposing it. I mean, yeah, okay, you can show and exposing it, but now that you can see it, they don't stop. They don't stop. Like, you expose the Epstein files. Okay. We saw what they were doing to people and children. Do you think they stopped? Nah, bro, they still doing it. Like, it's just like talking doesn't solve anything. That's the sad part. Like talking, like look, again, look in the audience. Look in the audience, bro. Look. Just look. Talking ain't gonna solve anything, bro. It requires physical action. You need to go ahead and march in there like you Leonidas, bro. Like you Leonidas attacking Xerxes. That's the only way this is gonna work. That's the only option.
Pittsburgh Monday night over an already approved data center to be built where the Delta View golf course used to be. 90 plus miles south in Gilroy, the same tone towards the same issue, an already approved data center that is currently being built.
I am beyond disappointed about this data center. I look at my daughter every day and I want the best for her.
But is that concern?
Now, we know how these people feel about little children. I'm just saying, we know how these people feel about little children. Like I said, we saw the Epstein files and, yeah, they don't care. These people putting up these data centers, bro, they don't care. They'll sell you out. They'll sell their own kids out. Hell, they'll whack their own kids. Like, what did you mean, bro? They finna get this stuff up and popping and get this stuff cracking and rolling. Don't come in here crying. They don't feel them tears. They ain't got no emotion. I'm telling you. They don't care. There's too much money on the table.
Warranted? University of Colorado associate professor and energy expert Kyrie Baker says yes.
We haven't seen something like this so close to people on such a large scale that consumes so much energy.
This is what the location in Pittsburgh is expected to look like. Nice, yes, but residents have voiced two main concerns.
And how much is this going to cost us in the long run in both water and power?
Avio did.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you probably your house, your health, your children, and your life. There you go. You'll be paying with all those things. Yeah, exactly. And you are going to pay with all those things, whether you like it or not. Just saying. That's basically where we're at. You ain't stopping these data centers. You ain't stopping nothing. Talking don't solve anything. It just won't. Talking ain't gonna stop these people from doing what they Talking ain't gonna stop these species from doing what they trying to do. These species have an agenda that they're trying to fulfill. And I hope prophecy already put it out in the air. He spoke on this, and I was like, dang, you actually spoke on AI data centers. So it was written. You just gotta, figure out what's important. What is important? Because life forever is temporary, but afterlife is what we here understand is eternal, unless people say it's just a long dirt nap where you come back reincarnated to something else. But whatever the case may be, how much more we got left? I don't want to watch no more of this one. We'll move on to the next one. Let's see what we got next.
Data centers will
He says data centers are stealing AI powered. Keep shutting. Okay, God, look good, Lord. AI data centers are stealing homes and water while taking over America. Oh, let's see what this gentleman has to say. Wrong button. Let's see what this guy has to say. Here we go.
Data centers will take the lives of 90% of the population. I'm talking about what data centers are already doing to regular people right now. In Georgia, families are fighting eminent domain because power companies are restructuring transmission lines for massive new data centers. People are literally losing homes so these data centers can get enough electricity to operate. Your childhood home means nothing when billion-dollar AI infrastructure shows up. And out west, residents around Lake Tahoe are already being warned that parts of the power grid may not be able to keep up with future demand. Now think about that for 1 second. Americans are being told they could lose reliable power while giant data centers continue expanding nationwide. And these data centers don't just use power. They use unbelievable amounts of water. Billions of gallons in drought-prone states, and now people living near some of these facilities are starting to complain about constant industrial noise, headaches, sleep issues, stress, and health concerns from living beside massive, always running industrial infrastructure. Because that's what these are. It's not the cloud, not some invisible internet. These are industrial facilities. Data centers will...
Yeah, bro. This is a weapon. This is a weapon. People are always like like Trump be talking about Iran's gonna have nuclear bombs. We don't want them to have nuclear. And it's like, bro, you can't use nuclear bombs anymore. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because after y'all dropped Hiroshima and Nagasaki, after y'all dropped that bomb out there on them people, something, somewhere, some powerful entity from up above, somewhere came down to you and said, you better never do no stupid shit like that again. You disrupted something with your nonsense. And if you do that again, we gonna put our we gonna put our foot in your ass. So we've never had another nuclear issue. The nuclear is not an issue anymore. Like they can't do nuclear anymore. They can't. They cannot drop a big old bomb and explode it. They can't do it anymore. They were already warned. It was like, bro, you cannot do that again. We will The angels from up above, the heavenly angels will be unleashed to put their foot in your ass if you do something that's stupid ever again. So they're not able to do nuclear bombs, bro. They're just not. They can't. So they find different ways to do something that causes the same impact as nuclear. So now they have chemical, psychological warfare that they can rage upon the people. And then I guess you can call this one resourceful warfare. I've never thought about that, but I just made that up on the fly. Resourceful warfare. Because we know what chemical warfare is. We know what we know what psychological warfare is. I mean, we see it with, social media and all sorts of things and frequencies of, Wi-Fi's and music and stuff like that. But resource warfare, tapping out the resources like this, water, the most important one, bro. This is a weapon. This is a straight up weapon. And they got the weapon looking like a job. Like, I mean, with the same thing with the bomb from the Hiroshima bomb. It was a job. It was a job, and they used the bomb as a weapon. Data center, it's a job, and it's used as a weapon. It's all the same thing. It's just a different form of a weapon. And for some reason, somebody has a war to wage with Mother Earth, and they are on a hell-bent track on destroying the Earth and the inhabitants upon it. But remember the Georgia Guidestones. You remember the Georgia Guidestones? Let me show you all the Georgia Guidestones in case you don't know what the Georgia Guidestones are. Let's see. Georgia Guidestones. Here we go. So if you didn't know, help you people out. You people need to be educated, especially the young folk who don't know nothing about these. The Georgia Guidestones, man, these things that were here. You know what I mean? These things, if you ever read the Georgia Guidestones, who the hell put in my chat? What is this? Somebody stick something in my chat? No, I can't see it. Okay, we're good. Yeah, the Georgia Guidestones right here. If you know anything about the Georgia Guidestones, these things were here for a pretty long time, but they suspiciously got blown up. Somebody took time out of their life to blow up these big ass stones that's been here forever. Let me give you a little update. So the Georgia Guidestones, it was a granite monument that stood in Elbert County, Georgia from 1980 to 2022. 19 feet and 3 inches. And they were made from 6 granite slabs weighing a total of 237,000 plus pounds. The structure was sometimes referred to as an American Stonehenge. The monument's creators believed that they were going to be an upcoming social, nuclear, or economic calamity, and they wanted the monument to serve as a guide for humanity in the world in which would exist after it. Controversial for its time of construction, it ultimately became the subject of conspiracy theories, which turns to facts, which alleged that it was actually connected to Satanism as opposed to Christianity, as its creator claimed. And let me see if I could find what were the words written on it. Let me see. It was in 2008, the stones were defaced. Some people wrote on it. It said, "Death to the New World Order." This is what they did to it. They wrote, "You will not succeed. Jesus will beat you, Satanists," and stuff. They sprayed on it and stuff like that. Somebody in 2022, they called the Guidestones satanic and all that stuff. This was, who was this? Candace Taylor. She said the Georgia Guidestones in 2022 were satanic. And her campaign platform that called for the monument to be removed in 2022. I thought they got torn down in oh no, that picture was in 2020. The destruction, here we go. On July 6, 2022, an explosive device was detonated at the site. Destroying the Swahili Hindi language slab and causing significant damage to the capstone. Nearby residents reported heard and felt the explosion around 4 a.m. Who the hell's gonna be there at that time? CCTV footage recorded a vehicle leaving the scene, and police investigated the incident. Remaining stones were dismantled by authorities for safety reasons later in the day as with a backhoe, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Okay, so let's see what was written on it. This was, okay, so here we go. So as you can see the stones, right? This is the stones right here. This is what they look like up close. If you were up close to it, right? This is what they look like up close. This is what they look like. And they have something written on it. I can read it to you from here. I could actually read it to you from here. It's like written in like Latin almost, but we're going to see what it said. I'm going to read it to you. It says the inscriptions read, "Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition in all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. A world court? AI. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Well, shit. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. That's what these Georgia Guidestones said. And they were destroyed. So as you can see, this has been a plan. Whether you want to call that a plan of Satanism or you want to call that a plan of nature running its course, I mean, it's up for you to interpret. But what I'm saying is, if you got these data centers and they're just taking up all this water, to me, that's like to me, this is just like a Hiroshima bomb, but just in a different way. You know what I mean? It's like we can't use nuclear weapons no more. So we got to find another way to go nuclear without explosions. And this is how I see it. You know what I mean? This is my opinion. But anyway, let's see the next thing we got. San Antonio, Texas. Oh man, the place I hate to visit. Shout out to Texas, but San Antonio, my oh my. The memories I have of that place is no bueno. But let's see what's going on in San Antonio, Texas. Here we go.
San Antonio has a problem and nobody's really talking about it. Colossal data centers are quietly taking over land across the city and just outside it. Now, they don't bring many jobs, they don't serve the neighborhoods, but they do consume massive amounts of water and electricity. Projects tied to Microsoft, Vantage data centers, QTS, and others are popping up near residential areas, often right on city and county lines, making it pretty hard to track who approved them and who's supplying the resources. A single mid-sized data center could use up to 300,000 gallons of water per day. Now, statewide, water use from data centers is expected to increase 9-fold by 2030. San Antonio District 6 Councilman Rick Galvan says development is outpacing public policy and is calling for answers from CPS Energy and San Antonio Water System. Now, the question isn't whether data centers matter, because they do. The question is whether San Antonio is planning responsibly or reacting too late after the infrastructure is already strained. Because the once water and power are spoken for, there's no rewind button. Comment below with your take. Are you for or against these large-scale data centers? San Antonio has...
Got to leave room for nature, man, like the Georgia Guidestone said. But the question is, you know, who is that nature going to be for? Leave room for nature. That's why I say the Hopi prophecy had it right. It seemed like the Hopi prophecy had it right, seeing what was going on. And Michio Kushi is talking about get back to nature. That's the whole premise. Get back to nature. Get back to nature. As much as you can, get back to nature. That's the whole premise. You want to get back to nature for sure. Because they're trying to destroy nature. And in the end, nature always wins. It does. But, you know, you have to find a way to stay in harmony and balance with nature. You got to. You got to find a way to, balance with love, stay fit, take care of your fitness, just have a balance of everything. I mean, it had a good message. The Georgia Guidestones have a very great message. It does. It has a very great message. It has an impeccable message. But the question is, you can take this message just like anything else in nature or anything in life, period. You can also use it for a satanic purpose as opposed to a righteous or virtuous purpose. You can just take it and flip it upside down. You know what I mean? But I digress. So we got another one. Birmingham, AI data center project moves forward, but neighborhoods push back, trying to stop it from happening. Again, look at the threat. Look at the threat. These people ain't finna stop shit for these people. Look at the threat. Here we go. It's Says residents in Birmingham, Oxford area gathered to protest a planned AI data center by Nebius. About 30 demonstrators rallied together along Lakeshore Parkway, chanting slogans and calling attention to their cause. As you can see them out here trying to, bring out as much attention as possible. But the opposition intensified as details surfaced about a $3.2 billion tax incentive package approved for the project over 30 years. Who's getting that money? Mayor Randall Woodfin distanced his office from the project's incentive decision, noting that the Industrial Development Board, which approved the incentives, operates independently. Oh, boy. So there's no stopping it. There ain't no stopping it whatsoever. You can't slow this down. Community members and environmental advocates say that they are worried about the potential impact on the neighborhood, including increased noise, heavy energy use, and possible effects on water quality and the environment. The 75-acre site is already undergoing demolishing and plans to construct 2 large data center buildings with a combined 300 megawatts of power. Yeah, so there we go. There's another one. That's in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. Let's see what we got next. He talks about secret NDAs, bought politics. Oh, okay. He does have a point. Secret NDAs bought politicians, how big tech stole your town. Well, this makes sense. Because I did a video where an old family had like a 1,200 acre farm, and they said these people came in trying to buy their farmland from them. But in order for them to, buy the farmland from them, first they lowballed them. They were like, hell no. Second of all, they were trying to get them to do the deal. And as they were trying to get them to do the deal to buy the land, they were trying to get them to sign NDAs and do the deal. They wanted them to sign non-disclosure agreements and do the deal, so you couldn't talk about what the deal was about. And I was like, what kind of deal is that? You trying to buy my land, but then you turn around and, tell me that I can't talk about what you are using the land for? You know what I mean? If you're trying to kill people, then yeah, I'm going to tell what you're using the land for. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and just hold quiet the whole time. Like, come on now. So this guy's going to speak on this. I'm going to play a piece of this only because it makes sense. And if you tie this together and couple this together with what I just read to you, speaking on how a lot of this stuff is moving independently, this is probably why a lot of this stuff is happening independently, because the secret NDAs and politicians are being bought, which is not hard to believe. I mean, shit, politicians are bought all the time. That's all they care about is themselves. They're always bought, and they don't listen to anything nobody says, and then they sell everybody out. Which to me is like, well, hell has to exist at some point, because ain't no way you just gonna live a life, screw and sell everybody out. But then my question is the politicians even humans, or are they reptilian shapeshifters? But I digress. Let's hear what he has to say.
They're asking, they're like, Tommy, how is this possible? How can they keep building these data centers? And you're right. We never voted for it or anything. Well, it's because big tech companies are paying off local politicians to keep their mouths shut before they even lay a brick or pave down anything. And guess what? I got the receipts. It's called the NDA playbook. Companies like Google, Meta, and Amazon are forcing mayors and city councils to sign non-disclosure agreements.
Let me go back. A new brief offers roadmap for states to fight back against big tech secret data center subsidy deals. Okay, let's let them keep talking.
Mayors and city councils to sign non-disclosure agreements. It's standard operating procedure. They legally bind your elected officials from telling you who is buying the land, how much of your water they're going to need and drain, and how much of that power grid they're going to suck up. Look at Columbia, Alabama. The mayor signed a secrecy agreement with a data center developer without even telling his own city council. He just...
Whoa, an Alabama mayor signed an NDA with a data center developer. Read it here. What? See, and that goes hand in hand with that with the thing I just told you, with that that family that had that farm. I'm gonna see if I can find it while he's talking so I can show you what I'm talking about. But let's let him keep going.
Without even telling his own city council. He just did it. And Bessemer, the mayor and city attorney, signed NDAs for a thing called Project Marvel, a $14 billion data center. And then when the media asked for the documents, the mayor said, and I quote, "I can't say anything because I signed an NDA." Convenient.
Bro told the truth. It's like, sorry, bro, I can't say anything. I signed the NDA. I can't tell you what everything is about. It's like, but aren't you the politician for the people? I am, but like they paid me so much money, bruh. Like, there were so many zeros on his contracts. I just had to sell y'all niggas out. I couldn't help it. I mean, I saw the money and I'm like, no, man, I'm for the American people, dude. I can't do that to y'all. I mean, like I'm one of the important political figures, man. I can't do that to the American people. I care about them too much. I'm a diehard American. And they wrote that check and was like, here, fool, look. And he was like,
FYM, fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
I'll sign the NDA. They don't need no water. Oh my goodness. They can drink mud water. You know what? How about this? If they need water and their water is mucky, muddy, I'll just, they can always buy the water filters that I sell them. You know what I mean? Because they're going to need water filters at some point. So I'll just sell them water filters. I mean, hey, then they can't say I'm not trying. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, yeah. I just can't say anything. I'm gonna go ahead and keep my mouth shut because so I can cash this right now. You sure I can go to the bank right now and cash this? All right, cool. So NDA signed, check finna be cashed. All right, bet. Gotcha. Let me see if I can find that one. You know what? Let me keep going and see if I can find it on the next one. Let me see.
Nobody
here.
wants it.
Let's see. Who is this? I forget your name. Theo Vaughn. Let's see. What could slow down data center boom? Nobody wants. Nah, we'll pass up on him. What we got next? Let's see. Residents are being evicted to make room for data centers. Oh boy, that's not looking too shabby. Let's take a look at this one. Let's see what's happening here. All right. Data centers or residents are being evicted to make room for data centers. Let's see how this goes. Here we go.
Felt that I might have to leave. I was kind of scared. I was worried about being homeless.
All my
Is that the lady? I think that's her. No, that's not her. That's not her. Hold on one second. Let me move this out the way so I can look for this thing that I'm trying to find so I can like multitask at the same time while this is going on. All right, cool. We're good. All right, let's continue. Here we go.
furniture and everything that's in my home, I have to put into storage because I have nowhere to go. So now what do I do?
These mobile home tenants could be evicted to make way for a proposed data center. Archibald, Pennsylvania is home to just 7,000 people, but developers are trying to build 51 giant data center warehouses here, enough to swallow up nearly 14% of the entire town.
So what we're looking at here is where a data center project has been proposed. 14 data center buildings, each one of them 80 feet tall. It would mean leveling parts of that mountain and cutting down all of those trees.
In another area nearby,
she said leveling parts of a mountain. These fools is not playing, bruh. Leveling part of a mountain. Let me go back.
Parts tall. It would mean leveling parts of that mountain and cutting down all of those trees.
In another area.
Now, you see these Georgia Guidestones? When you read this right here, it says, be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. And then it says it again. Leave room for nature. Like I said, this could be a good thing in a sense. I mean, I don't know about maintain humanity under 500 million. I don't know how that part works. But what I'm saying is it's speaking on a harmonious living, but like I said, you can always take something and flip it upside down. And the humanity that it could be talking about, it could be talking about a humanity of a different race or something. So you can always take something of good and turn it upside down. But it clearly shows that what these people are trying to do, they're not trying to leave room for nature. They're trying to be a cancer on the earth. They're trying to get rid of the truth and beauty and love, seeking harmony with the infinite. They're trying to destroy balancing personal rights with social duties. You know what I'm saying? They're saying avoid petty laws and useless officials, where we're walking right into petty laws and useless officials. Like this thing is completely being, flipped on its head. You know what I mean? Rule passion, faith, and tradition, and all things with tempered reason. That is not happening. So in a sense, the Georgia Guidestones could be a good guide. It could be a good guide on how to live life and guide reproduction wisely. this shit right here. The guide reproduction wisely. In other words, take sacred energy exchange seriously. So this is actually a good thing. But as we see, these data centers are doing the polar opposite. But let's let her keep going.
Area nearby, a different developer used a loophole to cut down 180 acres of forest before their data center has even been approved.
Now, since they're doing this and they're ripping down the trees, now I see the animals laying in the road dead because they're trying to find new homes.
It's not a coincidence that projects are flooding into Archibald. Pennsylvania offers tax breaks for data center development, and this borough happens to sit on top of a major interstate power line.
We are essentially being asked to give up all of the land, the energy, our water, so that developers can come in here and exploit us and then send their profits someplace else.
It's ridiculous because now we, the little people, are the ones that are going to suffer.
Residents of Valley View Estates Mobile Park received eviction notices in 2025. With a lack of affordable housing options, many are at risk of becoming unhoused.
When I filled out for housing and different agencies,
So they're taking away housing and giving housing eviction notices. So the government who provides housing for people. Okay, let me hold on. Because you always listen to this. Okay, so the government that provided housing for people sold those people out so then that the data centers can rezone their living area and destroy their homes, evict them to build data centers on. That should be one of the biggest red flags of all time, because if you look at how things are now, you got migrants and immigrants and opening borders and letting everybody in and free this and liberation that and all this nonsense happening. But if all these people that are coming over are depending on government assistance, and the government themselves is signing non-disclosure agreements for data centers, which then in turn is selling out people who are on housing, and the data centers are able to evict them, plow their complete homes, rezone their living quarters, and build on it. Bro, that's going to be a catastrophe waiting to happen. That is going to be a horrible situation, because these people are coming over here for better life and better opportunities, but they're walking right into a hellhole. Think about it. They're coming in here. Oh, wow. America gives SNAP benefits. America gives free education for the kids. America gives housing for, people who they're walking into it like a good opportunity, because the shitty place that they came from, or probably not as shitty, but the not so good place that they came from, or the okay place they came from that's getting bad, they come over here and they're like, well, this is better, and we get free, we get food and education for our children, and they give us housing. But now, as you see, the governments are doing NDAs from some places, and they're allowing the data centers to plow over government housing. What's the word? Government housing areas. I forget the word I'm trying to use. And they're allowing them to do it, and they're signing NDAs on the back end, selling these people out. So this is not only going to happen to Americans, it's going to happen to migrants and immigrants, or whatever you want to call it, as well. It's going to hit everybody, and it starts hitting it's a double whammy, right? You got these tech people who are making like $300, $400, $500, $200,000, $100,000 getting laid off at these tech companies. You got these poor people down here that are on government housing that are getting kicked out of their house and evicted from tech companies and data centers. Both sides from top and bottom are getting hit both ways. Bruh, this is gonna be brutal. Sheesh. Let's continue.
agencies to get help. They said it was going to at least be 5 years or longer.
They're trying to pull the wool over our heads. We're catching on quite quick, and we're not going to stand for it.
Public outcry from the community has started to gain real momentum. A Facebook group opposing the data centers now has more than 12,000 members, and council meetings are packed to the brim with vocal opposition.
10 of my neighbors, 10, have either died from or are living with cancer. And you are going to introduce another carcinogen in my area?
Pack your bags,
get out of this place and don't come back.
This spring, after...
Again, I'm sorry. I mean, I feel for the people that's losing their lives and things like that, but I'm gonna keep saying this. Talking doesn't solve anything. We are past the talking point. These people, these species, these shapeshifters, these reptilians, whatever you want to call them, these shapeshifters ain't hearing it, bruh. They not hearing it. This is a different race. This is a different species trying to take out another race. This is a different species of race trying to take out the human race. This, and they shape-shifting and looking like human form. We passed the point of talking. This don't require any talking. This don't require no more talking, bruh. She said 10 of her neighbors either are living with or died from cancer. Bro, we done with talking, and you building another one to add to the people that you know that you killed with your building. It's past talking. Talking stage is done. So I'm like, talking don't solve anything. Raising awareness, yes, is good. I'm not gonna go against that. Raising awareness is always good, but we passed the talking point, bruh, because they don't care. How you gonna? You can't tell me you care when you're making a deal with people, with the government people, then you make them sign NDAs, and then you tear down the very housing units that the government was help house people who needed assistance, and then you rezone their homes and kick them out and put in data centers, and you sign an NDA and you can't talk about it. Like, bro, we past talking, bro. Past talking.
Public pressure, more than half of the borough council resigned, and one data center proposal was rejected.
What is happening in Archibald is a really great example. Local communities are rising up together and they're saying, hell no, and projects are being delayed or stopped.
There's a long road ahead, but the residents of Archibald are not backing down.
Hey, that's good that they talking, but the delay, you can delay, but these bastards don't quit, bro. Evil don't quit, bro. Evil is persistent. Evil is one of the most persistent things on this earth. Evil is beyond persistent. Evil got time on its side. Evil is a very, very, very persistent thing. It's super persistent. It does not give up. It never quit. But yeah, that's how I see it, bro. But I found the lady that I was talking about earlier. I found a lady. Is this them?
Hey, Delcia. Hey, Ida.
Here they go. I think that's them. I think that's them. I hope that's them. Let me see if they talk about it. I found it, but I don't know if they're going to talk about it. These women turned down $26 million. Let me see if they talk about it, because I think this is them, but let me see if they speak on it from the farm that they had. Let's see what they say.
By now, you've probably heard about Delcia and her mother, Ida, who are getting national attention for their decision. An unnamed company offered their family $26 million for this land.
This is it.
Ida and Delcia both said no.
Opinions are like everybody's got one.
I don't think anybody ever got a hamburger or a steak out of a data center.
I asked the obvious question. A lot of people...
I don't think anybody ever got a hamburger or a steak out of a data center. Shout out to my country folk. That's what's up. That is straight wisdom speaking right there. Good. That's a good way to put it.
Around the country who've seen your story say $26 million. How could you say no to that?
It's easy to say no to $26 million whenever it really doesn't buy anything that you need. Once this land is gone, there wouldn't be anything else I'd really want.
Data centers are going up everywhere right now, and they're becoming
exactly
one of the most controversial.
Now I forget how much land they had. I want to say they had like 1,200 acres of land. I could be wrong, or 800. They have a lot of land. They have a lot of land. But you're right. When you have $26 million, what would you go buy? Land. You would spend it and go buy land. Why the hell would you sell that much acres of land and take the money? Like the land is worth more than the money. The money the money is nothing, especially when we are looking at conspiracy theories again about them trying to get rid of cash and turn the world into a cashless society. The money means nothing.
Land battles in the country. What are you concerned about having this data center so close to your house?
Well, the noise, the
the air pollution from it, the chemicals that they put in the water to keep from corrosion. It's forever chemicals. And, you know, they got to get rid of them.
For this family and for people in the area, this property isn't property, it's home.
Been in the family for 200 years, and it's something that you don't ever want to get rid of because your ancestors have walked there. And to sell that to anybody would seem like a betrayal to them, to me.
It's priceless. There's no amount of money that you can give me or offer me that would change my mind on where I'm living and the way I'm living.
Let's say someone showed up to your house offering an unimaginable amount of money for your property, your home. Is there a number big enough to make you give it up for something like an AI data center? Hey, Delcia. Hey, Ida.
Seeing somebody over here said 226 million, and I'll think about it. I mean, you shouldn't even have to think about it. Like, you shouldn't even have to think about it. And somebody here said a capitalist's worst nightmare. Is it a capitalist or is it a communist? I mean, would you consider this capitalism or would you consider this communism? It just depends on how you look at it. I would consider this communism. I wouldn't consider this capitalism. I would consider this communism. I wouldn't consider it capitalism. Or maybe, hell, you can probably be a mixture of both. I don't know. It could be a mixture of both. But those are the people. And they actually have a story on YouTube that I talked about it. Let me see if I can find their names again. It was Ida and something. Delisa and Idol. Delisa and Ida. And if I could find a whole thing on YouTube, I'll go over and show you the whole video. Let me see if I can find it. You know what? I'll do what I did last time. I'll pull this down over here and then we'll continue with another story. But let me write their name in so I don't forget. Delicia and Ida turned down 26 million. All right, let me see if I can find it from there. Let's see. Turn down. There we go. Okay, yeah. So I have it right here. So we'll go over it. We'll look at that at the very end. I have it right here. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. It's like a 4-minute video. So we'll watch that at the very end and just get a double up on that. But let's go over some more data centers. Let's see. So we got, who do we have last time?
When I felt that I might have.
So this was Pennsylvania. So we did San Antonio, Texas. We did Pennsylvania. We did Pittsburgh. We did Gilroy, California. Now we're in Ohio. We're gonna look at Ohio's largest data centers taking over. Good Lord. And then the one I just showed you with Ida and Delisa, the two older ladies who didn't want to sell their land, they was in Kentucky, I believe. But let's look at this one, Ohio. Let's keep going.
Was going to the street bordering a data center. Theirs was going to the... My first stop was going to the street bordering a data center. Theirs sat a very grand mansion with a guest house and a pond. Unbeknownst to me, the satellite images on my phone were outdated, and the homes were demolished over a year ago for the Microsoft Corporation. The day I arrived, however, it appears Microsoft has backed out. Maybe the land will be sold to someone else. Bordering that was a neighborhood of mansions, with the last one being built in 2018.
Bro, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Rural America is being pushed into cities. If these are the data centers, just imagine you went way out here to buy these mansion homes with these acreages of lands built around it. Look at this. You don't go out here and build homes like this just to be infiltrated by a data center just right up here from you. It's just showing you that ain't nobody safe, bruh. Nobody's safe. Look at this. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got like 9 or 10 homes in this nice ass neighborhood. And each home probably sitting on at least like 1 or 2 acres. Easily. Your neighbor ain't close to you or nothing. Y'all got space. Y'all chilling. And look at this. They built these big old data centers just right over here next to them. And I'm pretty sure this will be a residential zoned area, but the data centers got so much money, they pay to rezone the areas from whatever it is. If it's residential, they'll pay to rezone it. And that's why you have these data centers so close to neighborhoods and stuff like that. It's crazy.
It is not in New Albany's plans, and the neighbors I spoke to don't think it'll happen to them, but from what I've seen, it's very possible. The next spot I had predicted would go abandoned was this huge square of homes. Many of these were vacated 2 weeks ago. I'd come at the perfect time, as you can see just how quickly they demolished these houses. Across from that is a neighborhood of 36 large homes. I think about 3 have been purchased by New Albany, but they're all rented out. With time, this entire neighborhood may go too. I wonder when. Not even the people living here know when things will happen, but when it does, they'll be out in about 3 months.
So guys, I just got here and I just talked to one of the guys there. So these people, there's like 3 houses down here. People still live here. It's truly unbelievable. How do you get to your house when the road is being expanded like that?
My first stop was going to the street bordering a data center.
Boy, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy work. That's crazy work, bro. They are going non-stop, stopping at nothing.
Data center comes to your
Whoops. They're stopping at nothing to get this done. They stopping at nothing. And like I said, man, to me, this is the Hopi prophecy that he talked about. With they're going to have a weapon that they're going to be able to use to destroy the resources of the earth. Because the whole Hopi prophecy is about technology and nature, and it has 2 paths that the guy described. And when he describes the paths, he shows that everything was good, then it split. When it split, the split was between technology and nature, and you had to figure out which path to go on. But the technology path, what happens is it was on top. It was the technology path on top and the nature was on bottom. As it goes across, technology does this, boom, and it takes off. And then out of nowhere, at some point in time, it hits an abrupt stop and like shows that it destroys itself. And the nature keeps going, nature keeps going, but it goes through some hell and tribulations along the way. It gets really bumpy and bad and tries to tell you to stay the course of nature the entire way, because the nature path never dies. It keeps going. But the AI path, the technology path ends up dying. But he speaks about along the way things that happen, things that they notice, that they spoke about in the Hopi prophecy. So the dude was talking about it, and I think the interview I was talking about, he was in the 70s or 80s. I want to say it was the 70s. Could have been the early 80s, but I think it was the 70s. He said that the Hopi prophecy dude told him, or how the story goes, told him that there's a point in there where there's going to be a web of communication. Now, since he was telling the story, he said, I understand what the web of communications is now. At the time I didn't, but now I get it. He was saying the web of communications is the telephone wires and the telephone poles around. Turns out he was wrong, because as time keeps going, we now understand the web of communication is the World Wide Web, the internet. So back when he got the story, he thought he was right because he saw telephone wires at his time when he got the story. But now as time goes on, we see that the web of communication is the internet. And he speaks on this thing. I forgot what it's called. Oh, what is the thing called? Man, let me see. I have to pull this up because it's really gonna bug me. The Hopi prophecy, golden gourd of ashes. There it is. The Hopi prophecy, gourd of ashes. He spoke on the gourd of ashes. Let me see. The gourd of ashes. It says it's a prophetic metaphor for atomic weapons that, when dropped from the sky, boil the land and oceans while preventing growth for many seasons. Hopi elders and spokesmen like Thomas Bayanaka, sorry if I butchered your name, my apologies, identified this prophecy as being fulfilled by the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, warning that continued misuse of such power could lead to total human destruction during a final great purification. Let me show you what I'm reading right here. I'm reading this right here. Now, here's what I say, okay? You got to remember how far back they go, okay? Listen to what they said. They said it's a metaphor for atomic weapons that, when dropped from the sky, boil the land and oceans while preventing growth for many seasons. They looked at that as the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I think this is talking about these data centers, because it says it boils the land. Well, data centers are boiling the water because it's using the water. It's evaporating the water. It's using the water. They looked at it, they thought it was Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I think that it was just too much before their time for them to see what we see today. And if you watch the video that he talked about it, when I said he talked about the web of communication, he thought it was telephone wires, but now we see that it's not telephone wires, it's the internet. So the Hopi prophecy was speaking on artificial intelligence. They just was too early in the timeline to comprehend 100% what they thought they were seeing. So the prophecy was right and they wasn't wrong. They were just trying to figure it out. They were on the right path. And if they were still living today, they would be like, oh, snap, it's this. So, you know, it could get, it's really interesting whenever you go and study the prophecy. And it says it's a final great purification. So just remember, stay the course of nature, stay the track of nature. Nature is going to be the way how everything works out. You got to stay on the path of nature. Let's see. According to the Hopi oral tradition, the gourd of ashes is a specific sign signaling the end of the fourth world and the transition into a fifth. Traditionally described as a device that would make the people like blades of grass in a prairie fire, represented a catastrophic misuse of the guardianship of fire entrusted to humanity. All right, cool. Let's go on and see what's the next one that we have. So we have this one. Let me see. Is this a good one? California City. They're talking about. No, we're not gonna talk about that one. Texas, Red Oak residents packed City Hall and spoke into the hallways as leaders approve another data center campus. This is Red Oak is over in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So yeah, let's take a look at this one. So this is Texas now. Hey, what's up, Texas? Here we go. This is right down the street from me.
Need another data center. We don't need another data center. You don't know what the health impact is. You got them all crunched together. You're going to have a mass exit. You're going to ruin this community. You're going to ruin it. Ruin it if you let this continue.
Look at this. All these people selling out everybody for money. All these people are selling people out for money. It's sad. It's so sad. Red Oak's residents are furious with City Hall leaders after they approved 830-acre data center overnight. They signed that NDA and they over here selling out the people. I always tell you, bro, and again, I'm like, bro, these could be reptilian shapeshifters in human forms and we just don't even know it. Or these just could be people who've seen them and are scared as hell of them and they don't want to, you know, get done in or get, you know, viciously slaughtered by one of these creatures or these different, but this could be a whole different race of human being. We just think these are humans. These could be shapeshifters because there's no way that you could be this heartless as to destroy an entire race of people by depriving them of water and destroying their homes. There's no way, bro. There's no way. I mean, there is a way, but it's like, this has to be these reptilian shapeshifters, fool. If they show they form, they would go into the actual form and show us who they are, bro, or lead to a physical, ferocious battle of humans versus species overnight. The project proposed by the campus data centers will be the 6th data center campus in Red Oak, and the city officials presented possible benefits of the data centers, including infrastructure and energy support, whatever. But dozens of residents, they were not convinced. Of course not. What's she say? Let's see what she says. Let me see what she has to say. Here we go.
We're supposed to look out for the welfare of our people. And I feel like maybe they think they're doing what's correct, but they're not really pausing and paying attention to what their people are saying.
Stop giving them benefit of the doubt. They hear what you're saying. They ain't stupid. I'm telling you. They hear you loud and clear. They just probably not humans. They shape-shifted demons. And what they're saying to your face with their actions is this.
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers, you know?
That's what they're saying. And you over here giving them the benefit of the doubt. Oh, I don't think they understand what they're doing. They just have some no, you're just an idiot if that's what you think of giving these people the benefit of the doubt. You're an idiot if that's what you think. Straight up, lady. Calling you out on that one. There's no way that these people, maybe they didn't think this through. They pause and make no. This ain't no accident. This is an intentional decision they making to basically destroy people's homes and livelihood. This is the war being waged on humans. This is my opinion. This is how I see it. But she wrong for that comment. Like, straight up stupid for that one. I'm sorry. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Let's see what we got here. South Lake Tahoe is facing a potential long-term loss of electricity because its main energy supplier, Nevada Energy, I believe, is terminating its power supply agreement with the local provider Liberty Utilities on May 2027. This decision stems from the need to redirect 75% of Tahoe's current power capacity to meet soaring energy demands for new AI data centers in northern Nevada. Here we go. Let's see what this guy says. Here we go. I was reading the description up top up here, by the way. It was just right up here. But let's see what he says.
Woo! 50,000 people are going to lose their electricity in South Lake Tahoe, California. And it's all because the Nevada Electrical Company is going to cut their ass off. Yeah, NV Energy. And it's all because of data centers, profit, greed, and climate control. Yeah, you see, there's been an influx of data centers in Nevada here lately. Google, Microsoft, Apple, all the names that you love. Some of the most powerful companies in America. And they're getting tax incentives out the ass. No corporate tax. 2% on what it takes to build that facility as compared to 7 to 9% sales tax in the area. And they're getting 75% off their property tax for the next 20 years. And NV Energy, they're just selling it to whoever's offering the most fucking money.
Oh, there it is. That's basic. 70% off their property. Did he say 70%?
The area, and they're getting 75%.
75% off of their property taxes.
And they're getting 70.
Right here, personal property tax abatement, up to 75% abatement on personal property tax for 10 or 20 years. Sheesh. So that's in California, but the utility company is Nevada Energy. So that's what that's what I had wrong. So that was a place in Nevada. Let's see. Horror movies. There are 962 more projected currently in the. This says top 5 data center horror movies. Okay, unbelievable global scale. Okay, let's take a look at this chart real quick. Let's just look at this and see what they got. It says United States total. This is of 2026. United States totals over 4,000. Germany 507. Texas alone 411. China 369. France 346. There are 962 more projects currently in the pipeline for Texas alone. Across Texas, a second industrial revolution is turning quiet towns into massive AI hubs. While tech giants bring investments, many residents fear being sucked dry, as data centers are projected to consume up to 9% of the state's total water by 2040. It's not just water. The harbor includes permanent artificial daylight from light pollution and a constant industrial hum that keeps neighbors awake. Even your wallet isn't safe, as the massive power demands from these facilities is already being linked to rising residential electricity rates. Hold on, let me go back. It's not just water. The harbor includes permanent artificial daylight from light pollution. Artificial daylight. Artificial daylight. Bruh. Artificial daylight. They're trying to destroy. Wait a minute. Artificial daylight, bro. Hold on. Let that sink in. Artificial daylight. So they can't destroy the sun, but they can fake a sun with artificial daylight from light pollution. So they'll pollute the light waves. What? Artificial daylight. I gotta look that up. Artificial daylight from data center. I have to look that up right now. Artificial daylight from data centers. I have to look this up. Artificial daylight from data centers. Let's see. Large data centers in rural Texas are generating. Let me show you. Large data centers in rural Texas are generating intense 24/7 light pollution that residents describe as artificial daylight, often caused by high intensity security lighting or ongoing construction. While ground-based facilities disrupt livestock breeding cycles and local wildlife, new proposals for orbital data centers and space-based mirrors aim to provide sunlight on demand from orbit. Texas Community Reports and residents accounts intense illumination in Crowell and Hamby causes birds to sing at midnight and mimics morning light through bedroom window. Bruh. This is playing. This is the ultimate middle finger to nature. This is the ultimate middle finger to nature. This is the ultimate middle finger to nature. Wow. Visual disruption. Residents report a white glow, brighter than the entire city, making them feel like as if they are in the spotlight. Even inside their homes, in some cases, the illumination is visible from over 3 miles away. Agricultural and wildlife effects. Farmers in Ford, Leon, and Brazoria counties have expressed concerns that the constant glow disrupts the circadian rhythm and breeding cycles of livestock. Local wildlife is also affected. Birds have been observed singing at midnight, and natural photo periods for animals near these sites are being severely compromised. Construction or operation. There is ongoing debate among locals whether the most extreme light is a permanent operational feature or just a result of a 24-hour construction floodlights used during the rapid build out of these AI hubs. Future sunlight on demand proposals. What? While current issues are terrestrial, several aerospace companies are filing regulatory plans to provide artificial illumination from space. Orbital data centers. SpaceX has applied to the FCC for permission to launch up to 1 million satellites designed as orbital data centers. These would remain in near constant sunlight to harness solar power for AI computing. Space Mirrors, a startup called Reflect Orbital, plans to deploy a constellation of 50,000 mirrors by 2035. These mirrors would redirect sunlight to specific ground locations at night, achieving brightness levels up to 36,000 lux, roughly comparable to natural daylight. They're trying to redirect sunlight to specific ground locations at night. They're trying to redirect sunlight to specific ground locations at night. Okay. Let's take that and run with it. If you're redirecting sunlight to a specific ground location at night, how does that work on a spinning globe? If you're trying to redirect sunlight to specific ground locations at night, how does that work on a spinning globe? It doesn't. At all. The truth got to come out at some point. You can't hide it when you do that. Yep. Doesn't even make no sense. Doesn't even make no sense. Space mirrors. These mirrors would reflect sunlight to specific ground locations at night. How do you do that on a spinning ball that would only work in a flat earth, on a flat earth model? Because then the way the sun and the moon orbits, if the sun is over here, you can redirect. That's the only way it would work. It can't work on a spinning ball. Anyway, let me keep going. Wow. These people is crazy, bro. These people are wild. They are trying to do permanent artificial daylight. Wow. This is crazy. Let's see. What am I looking for? What am I looking at? Let me see. Do I have another one? Let me see. You know what? We gonna end it on that note. Hey, that one threw me for a loop, bro. We gonna have to end it on that note because these people here is wild, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed today's show and y'all learned something new. These people is crazy as hell, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. I'm telling you, these people are not humans. These are reptilian shapeshifters, demonic forces, false flagging inside a human body. So we look at them and see humans, but in reality, these are shapeshifted species that are not human race. There's only one race. The race is a human race. Human race has many different colors. That's why it's called human. Hue means color. Man means man. Therefore, humans come in many shapes and sizes. Some of us can be as black as this scrunchie. Some can be as brown as my skin and as pale as my t-shirt, but we're still all humans. There's different races out there, yes, but race is not a color. Races is another species. These reptilian demons or whatever, Greys, Anunnakis, Pleiadian, Nordic, whatever different race you want to call it, they shapeshift into human bodies, in my humble opinion, and we look at them and think that they're us, but they're not us. But you look at what the actions that they're doing, you can clearly see that these are not human actions. These are not human actions. These are not actions of humans that would try to sustain a healthy earth for humanity and that thrives off of love and prosperity and passion and compassion for others. That's not what this is. With that being said, man, I'm getting up out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all tomorrow on the next live stream. Take care. Love y'all. Peace.
Thank you for watching D. Elliott Fitness live stream. Goodbye.
The game on